Seeking a budget approval to acquire an LMS for your organization is not like filling out a requisition form for a stationery pad. For a seasoned learning and development professional, getting this budget approved needs a very well thought out strategy backed by very sound rationale. Our guest today provides us with some deep insights on how this exercise should be approached. Our guest today is Mr. Arshad Qureshi. Arshad is a veteran in the space of enterprise learning. As part of his career, he has been a sales leader as well as a leader in the space of enterprise learning. Arshad is a postgraduate diploma from the Narsimha Institute of Management. He has worked as part of his career with Medley Pharma, Panacea Biotech, and currently he is the DGM of L&D at Medley Pharma. Arshad, thank you so much for your time this morning and welcome. And the question today, is especially for your peers in this space is for a L&D leader to go ahead and ask for an LMS, learning management system implementation in the organizational ecosystem. How should they approach the entire process? Right? It is not like fill out a requisition form. I need a new stationery pad. Right? That's not how it works. So what would be, based upon your years of work and working with various enterprises, be your recommendation on how should an L&D leader really approach this entire exercise?
Most of the times that I have seen that most vendors, because they are very good at their product, they are very, very attached with their product. They have seen the success with their product. So they mostly pitch for their product, whereas I as a customer is not very, very comfortable with this. Same thing happens with me if I am in this organization and I get an LMS. I get excited about a new technology, a new platform that is coming that can help me get my job done easily.
Right.
And I go to the management. Okay, sir, I want to buy this. Management is most likely to give me that smirk that you're giving me right now.
Right. Yeah. What problem does it solve for me?
That's right. That's right. So what is it in it? What is in it for me?
Right.
So my point here to all L&D leaders and through them, even the vendors, is work out the WIIFM. Treat every stakeholder as a customer. I have to do a lot of selling. I may be in this organization as an employee, but my management is my customer.
Correct.
And I have to sell to my management, okay, this is going to help the organization. I have to do that selling thing.
Right. So typically, as an L&D leader, right, if I'm the L&D leader, right, what are the kind of stakeholders that I would typically need to interact with, from whom I will need a thumbs up? So as an L&D leader, what would I need to visualize before I start the exercise? I need to go to this 3, 4, 5 people. Who are these 5 people?
The first thing is what you mentioned right now is the stakeholders. Right. If I am leading the L&D, then obviously, who will be benefited by this? Is it only me or my stakeholders, the trainee? In my case, the field force.
Field force, correct. Yeah.
So obviously, when I am going to do something for the field force, the first stakeholder for me is the sales leader. Ask his pain points. Obviously, I may be knowing a lot of sales pain points, but still, I need to probe him so that he feels, okay, my input was taken. Number 2, I am knowing the pain points because I was working in sales. But if I was not working, so I need to know the pain points first.
Right. But Arshad, you have the privilege, right? You've been a sales leader yourself. So as far as sales, the department is concerned, you already understand fairly intensely what are the issues. But most L&D leaders may not have that privilege. So obviously the interaction with the sales leader is very critical.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Got it.
Like for example, today I want to introduce something for the distribution team. Right? I do not know anything about distribution.
Got it.
I've never worked there.
Got it.
So the logical approach for me would be I reach up to this distribution team. They key people, understand their job, understand their pain points, list them down, and then see how XYZ product can solve their problems. So coming to LMS, learning management system for sales, learning management system for distribution. Now, this is only one stakeholder I've talked about.
Yeah, correct.
Now, their customers also. I need to understand their customers also. For example, distribution team, I said, their pain points, their working, I understand. But distribution's work is impacting the sales team, is impacting the marketing team, is impacting the manufacturing team, is impacting the supply chain.
Right.
So not only distribution team, then I need to understand how is distribution connected to the sales, marketing, supply chain, manufacturing. In this process, when I'm talking to 4 or 5 stakeholders, 4 or 5 departments, then one, I am upgrading myself. I am understanding what are their requirements. Number 2, I'm also doing a smart thing there that they are feeling involved in the decision making. And when management is talking, then management will surely take inputs from these people also.
Because they are the influencers, if not the decision makers.
Absolutely. They are the influencers there.
So one thing I always wondered is potentially the financial controller, the CFO, right? Because essentially it's a capex or opex or a mix of both, right? So for them as well, it's a big decision, right? If they have to commit a certain amount of budget for this. So how should that discussion be structured?
Obviously, holding physical programs is anytime more expensive than an LMS.
Right.
So yes, a small business case has to be put to the CFO also.
Right.
So he's one of the stakeholders there, because finances will come from that side only.
Absolutely. Yeah. So essentially, you're suggesting some sort of a ROI calculation to be shown, right? How much we spend today and how much will we spend tomorrow.
I follow a practice that I bring out cost of an activity for the last 3 years.
Okay, excellent.
And I put a progression in the previous 3 years. Year 1 this, year 2 this, year 3 this. Right. And when I'm proposing this, then I will take away this activity.
Right. Beautiful.
From where I will save money, and that is where I'm planning to put up the money.
Got it. Brilliant. That's very insightful. Great. Anybody else you suggest who the L&D leaders should consult with besides sales, operations, and CFO?
Must take a feel of the actual customer of the organization. Like in our case, my customer is the doctor, the chemist, the stockist.
Got it.
Right. So there, of course, they will not be an influencers for an LMS or any tech intervention in the organization, but from there I get an input. Okay, what are the things which are required by my sales guy, by my sales force, so that he is more effective in front of the customer, in front of the doctor or the chemist or the stockist.
Right. So essentially, looking at it from the point of view of the end user, which is your field staff, field sales staff, and see what is it that they need quickly, rapidly, so that their conversations with their end customers improves. Okay, so my one follow-up question, Arshad, right? So you've spoken from the point of view of the L&D leader, right? Should they also reach out to the vendors to help out in some of these activities? Can a potential LMS vendor help out the leader of L&D in this exercise? Because this is not a battle to be won separately. You need a team to get it done for you.
Yes, absolutely. For every stakeholder, as I mentioned, there has to be some data I need to put up to the stakeholder. There needs to be some success stories, some references, so that that stakeholder also, he will not be convinced just because I am taking his input. He will be convinced when I'm taking his input, understanding his pain point, and also helping him with a probable solution.
Right.
Okay, so this XYZ organization was also suffering with this problem, what you are suffering right now.
Right.
And they were able to get over it with the help of this thing.
Right. So yes, essentially case studies, right?
Case studies.
Case studies to back up saying, they use this product, here is how they got help, this is how they were able to, whatever, right? Take over certain pain points, whether it was logistics or whether it was expenses or maybe a mix of, typically, there'll be multiple factors where the LMS will typically be able to help.
Couple it with some pilot programs or small demos to the stakeholders.
Yeah.
One pilot is we talk about maybe some 300-400 people are involved. Yeah. Another what I am talking of, maybe if I'm talking of LMS, then some 3, 4, 5 users are assigned. Right. So that those stakeholders,
right.
If I am the L&D leader, then I assign those stakeholders, okay, this is what your team might get if we get this. So right. They also get a look and feel of the thing.
Got it. Right. So before they jump into decision making, at least you got a taste of how this would look like.
Yeah. Okay. And that, let me tell you, that plays a very, very important role in influencing the decision of the stakeholder.
This is excellent because in our experience, what we've seen is most L&D leaders end up testing themselves or somebody from the HR team and very occasionally from the operations side. But you're suggesting that don't limit there, reach out to the entire stakeholder community in your organization and ask them to try it out before you take the next steps.
Yeah. In fact, as Steve Jobs is very famous in telling that customer does not know what he needs. You got to give him.
Tell them.
Test it, man.
Right.
This is what is available.
All right. Arshad, again, thank you so much for your time this morning. I think this is very, very insightful. Now, a lot of opinions, which I think, are beneficial, not just for the vendors, but also for the L&D communities. I'm hoping there'll be a lot of takeaways for them as well. So thanks again for your time, and have a great day.
So 4 key takeaways over here. Number 1, find out the key stakeholders in your organizational system. Find out a use case, why an LMS makes sense for them, what pains would their LMS alleviate for them. Really, all of them want to know what's in it for me, WIIFM. Number 2, make these stakeholders part of the team that will assess or evaluate the LMS that you are proposing. That way they would feel part of the entire decision-making process. Number 3, ask your LMS vendors to provide you with collaterals, powerful case studies, wherein they solve problems such as yourselves in getting the LMS in the system. And finally, number 4, probably the most important, when you are presenting this case to your CFO, find out beforehand the data or the spend on learning and development and the training exercise over the last few years. Our guest suggested 3, maybe it could be 4 for you, maybe 5, maybe 2, but find the data, find the trend, right? And once you have the data, only then build the ROI estimate and say like why this LMS makes sense. We hope you found this useful. If you have more suggestions, please write to us in the comments below, and we'd love to hear back from you.